As we get closer by the day to the first ever official All Elite Wrestling presented event, that being Double or Nothing this May, the brand is setting their focuses on building a large team of backstage individuals, as long as on-screen personalities and, most importantly, professional wrestlers. All Elite Wrestling have already confirmed the following events: Double or Nothing this May, Fyter Fest, which is set to be hosted by Kenny Omega this June, and Fight for the Fallen, which is set to take place in the hometown of the Young Bucks in Jacksonville. Not to mention, the recent talks around confirmation that All Elite Wrestling have possibly scored a TV deal with TNT, where they would be set to air their weekly wrestling programming show named Tuesday Night Dynamite. As a result of the huge plans, the team of pros seem to be building up rapidly, with Vice President Cody having claimed that All Elite Wrestling already have 40 talents signed to the company. And during his appearance on the Ross Report, hosted by Jim Ross, he also went on to mention, "There's more talent than a lot of people know, because we're slow and steady on a road to Double or Nothing, and we don't just want to put a splash out on everybody." But as the most popular series of videos on our channel, we have a lot to talk about since the last episode. So here are 24 more All Elite Wrestling signings. Number 1, Shima. During the initial All Elite Wrestling press conference in Jacksonville, the team would announce that they would be working very closely with Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, but no further details would be mentioned. Fast forward to the second press event, where the team would set their plans and feuds in place for the first ever show, that being Double or Nothing. There, top star of the company and all-time legend, Shima, would confront Christopher Daniels, but would be given a proposition. Daniels mentioned, "Ever since we've met, Shima, you've been a trailblazer, you've been a pioneer, and you've become a leader of men, and now you're here to lead OWE against the best opposition in the world. Well, I have this to say. If you're looking for opposition, allow me to make a proposition. Shima, if you would be so kind, can you get 2 of your best men? And at Double or Nothing at May 25th, how would you like to stand across the ring from SCU? With the inclusion of the high-flying OWE roster facing off with SCU, you can expect a killer 3-on-3 match in Las Vegas." Number 2, Kip Sabian. If you're unaware of the Superbad, Kip Sabian is one of the most underrated stars on the British wrestling scene, and deservingly, things seem to be going upwards for his career. With undeniable in-ring skill as a cruiserweight, Sabian never fails to entertain the crowd, and as somebody that the Wrestle Club team have kept a close eye on, it's great to see that the All Elite Wrestling promotion has successfully signed this Ring of Honor star. Number 3, Brandon Cutler. As a lifelong friend of both Nick and Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks, Cutler was forced to take a step back from the squared circle in order to focus on his family. But with the new possibilities for smaller stars in the wrestling world, the Bucks made sure to give him another shot at making his dream come true, and he is now set to step back into the ring in All Elite Wrestling. The opportunity clearly means a massive amount to the man, as he would break down into tears when featuring on the Road to Double or Nothing YouTube series. Though he would take a step back from the wrestling world, his wife wouldn't, as she would work as a seamstress, creating wrestling attires for the likes of their close friends, the Young Bucks. And so subsequently, both Brandon and his wife Denise were handpicked by Nick and Matt Jackson as people who deserved an All Elite Wrestling contract. Number 4, Bea Priestley. While some may just refer to her as the girlfriend of Will Ospreay, she should not be underestimated, and of one of the top female talents on the British wrestling market, it seems that All Elite Wrestling have scored a great deal with the signing of this 23-year-old. So far, her career has seen Priestley achieve high success in performing as a top competitor in the likes of Progress Wrestling, Defiance and World of Sport, where she would become a women's champion in each respective promotion. With a high amount of potential, it will be interesting to see how she is utilised in All Elite Wrestling. Number 5, Michael Nakazawa. As a top star on the independents in Japan, Nakazawa and Kenny Omega have actually wrestled in over 30 matches together. So it comes at no surprise that as a lifelong friend of Kenny Omega and a 14-year in-ring veteran, Omega would go on to ensure that he could acquire Michael Nakazawa a spot on the All Elite Wrestling roster, as after all, Omega is one of the multiple vice presidents of the company. While some could see this as a huge loss for the DDT wrestling promotion, Nakazawa sees this as a stepping stone in creating yet another partnership between All Elite Wrestling and another professional wrestling promotion, with the hope that All Elite and DDT can work very close together in the near future. It's definitely a different look to what WWE would offer, as instead of seeing other promotions as competition, All Elite have a different vision, seeing them as potential for collaboration, and so far have created working relationships with Oriental Wrestling Entertainment and AAA, so it wouldn't be a shock to see them work with DDT in the near future. Number 6. Ace Romero. This 400-pound athlete is sure to impress you in All Elite Wrestling, and if you haven't seen him before, his success so far is most notable in MLW. Listen to what they had to say about Ace. Using uncanny aerial attacks combined with explosive power, AC Baby is a walking jumbo jet in the squared circle, an elite super heavyweight. This 400-pounder harkens back to the days of agile super heavies like Bam Bam Bigelow and Big Van Vader. Romero not only has size, but the agility and technical game to make every match different, unpredictable and dangerous to their adversaries. And though many could say that by the looks of things it should be renamed to the Overweight Battle Royal, you should not underestimate the power and in-ring skill that Romero possesses. Number 7. Hikaru Shida. With the already phenomenal women's division of All Elite Wrestling, it comes at no surprise that they would add yet another star to it, this time being Hikaru Shida. Shida is your typical highly skilled and extremely slick young wrestler from the Japanese circuit, with incredible speed and stamina, having been inside the squared circle for a third of her life. She has everything you could need to succeed in the wrestling game, and so it wouldn't be a surprise to see her as AEW's Women's Champion in the near future, and or reignite her feud with Aja Kong. Number 8. Glacier. If you're unfamiliar with Glacier, the man would go on to make a name for himself between 1996 to 1999 in WCW, feuding with the likes of Chris Adams and Perry Saturn. However, on his way out of the company, he would suffer a severe knee injury during the main event of Nitro, in which he lost to then United States Champion Goldberg for the 4th time, in what would be his first and only opportunity for a championship in WCW. But after making a recovery, he was booked to lose to lower card opponents, so that WCW could finally kill off the character. Nonetheless, this hasn't stopped him from appearing on the independents ever since. While Glacier has signed the dotted line for All Elite Wrestling, don't expect him to have the most regular set of appearances, as more than likely, he'll be working a similar schedule to Brock Lesnar, due to being the age of 54. He is, however, set to appear in the over-the-budget 40-man Battle Royal. Number 9. Darby Allin. Despite having been homeless for quite some time, Allin would find his love in professional wrestling, and would begin to work for independents in 2015, and after years of counting the lights, the emo-like character of Darby Allin would debut in AAA, that being in June last year. In addition, All Elite Wrestling would offer a contract to the man. And now, Darby Allin is set to face one-on-one with Cody Rhodes at Fyter Fest in June. Number 10. Brian Pillman Jr. When being a second-generation superstar, with his dad obviously being Brian Pillman, is not easy, with expectations being high. Nonetheless, Brian Pillman Jr. would make a name for himself in Major League Wrestling, where he would become World Tag Team Champion with Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Teddy Hart. Despite his mullet hairstyle reminiscent of the 90s, Pillman Jr. has all the speed and agility that it takes to succeed in All Elite Wrestling, and by the looks of things, he will surpass any high expectations that you may have for him. Number 11. Sadie Gibbs. With a CrossFit, gymnastics and MMA background, and being a former competitive track and field athlete, as well as a fitness model, you can say that All Elite Wrestling may have got a great standing here, as you can be sure that the so-called Amazing Grace has all it takes to compete in the All Elite Wrestling Women's Division, with Double or Nothing only having one women's match so far, that being Kylie Ray vs Nyla Rose vs Britt Baker in a triple threat match. It's a possibility that AEW could plan for Gibbs to debut once they're producing a regular television product, or instead they could involve her in the over-the-budget Battle Royal, as the much anticipated Battle Royal match isn't gender specific. Number 12. Ali. While Ali has done it all in Impact Wrestling, having been with the company since 2013 due to her undeniable star power, when she first stepped into the ring, it wasn't easy for her, as during her appearance on the Double or Nothing series, she stated, "I was really bad for a long time, because nothing came natural to me. I was not an athletic person, I played guitar and I was in bands. I never played sports. So, when I started training, it was just to experience it and do it. And I just haven't looked back. She also mentioned how she reacted to a signing, as she claimed, "I think I was in the middle of doing my hair or something like that, and I just got the call. I hung up the phone and started crying, because I really wanted to be here and I just didn't know if it was possible." Number 13, Dustin Rhodes. After being in the WWE on and off for just under 30 years, that's over half of his life, rumours recently came to light of a possible departure of Goldust from the biggest wrestling promotion in the world, WWE, with Pro Wrestling Sheet reporting, multiple sources tell us Goldust's WWE contract recently expired, and he's currently waiting for the 90-day no-compete portion of his agreement to run out, before becoming a free agent. Nonetheless, Goldust would pull a smart move by disregarding the rumours and gaining heel heat at the same time, stating on his social medias, "I am still under contract with the WWE, and everything that they said online is just talk and complete bullshit. This is exactly why I hate smart marks." But following the shocking announcement that Dustin Rhodes would be throwing out the Goldust gimmick and wrestling with his brother at Double or Nothing, Dustin would leave the following statement: "I've been putting my body through quite a bit these last 30 years, and many opportunities that have been presented to me have taken a back seat to my love of wrestling. I requested my release from the WWE, and it was granted. I am taking this time to explore some of those many opportunities. Life is too short to not take all the chances you feel driven to take, and I will give this next chapter my full focus and effort. I would appreciate your continued support as I turn this page in my life and go wherever this journey may lead me next." It's unsure what Dustin Rhodes will be doing with All Elite Wrestling after his bout at Double or Nothing, but it's safe to say that the match will be an instant classic, with both brothers more than likely hugging it out after they've battled each other, creating a monumental special moment. Number 14 and 15, Private Party. The All Elite Wrestling Tag Team division is already, arguably, the best in the world, and they haven't even put on a show yet. With the Young Bucks having been outspoken about their wishes to main event with a tag team match, and by the looks of things, that will undeniably be a possibility down the line. But nonetheless, the tag team division continues to grow. Aja Cassidy and Mark Quinn of Private Party. If you're unfamiliar with the duo, their irrefutable talent have seen them become some of the top competitors in House of Glory Wrestling, and they are sure to impress the All Elite Wrestling fanbase. Number 16, Peter Avalon. Last month, All Elite Wrestling sent out an opportunity for anyone interested in playing the on-screen character known as the Librarian. Both avid fans and wrestlers would send out their audition tape, but both Matt and Nick Jackson would announce Peter Avalon as the one and only Librarian. He may be a well-known heel in the wrestling world, but at the same time, Cody would also reveal someone else as the person to play the Librarian. That being number 17, Leva Bates. As we just mentioned, Cody would go on to reveal to the All Elite Wrestling fanbase that Leva Bates would be the one and only Librarian. But as for Bates, she would rise to popularity as Blue Pants in WWE's NXT, but she has clearly taken a detour in her career, now signing with All Elite Wrestling. Number 18, Anthony Ogogo. After grabbing an 11-1 win-loss record as a pro boxer and having won a bronze medal for England in the 2012 Olympic Games, Anthony Ogogo has the entire skill set to hop into the squared circle, and so he is doing just that. It's clear that he has a passion for professional wrestling, with Cody even stating, "It seems like he has the passion and the burning desire." With Ogogo being in the wrestling world, it seems that Kurt Angle won't be the only Olympic medalist in pro wrestling. Number 19, Sunny Daze. If you haven't been watching the Road to Double or Nothing YouTube series, then you're more than likely unfamiliar with Sunny Daze. Dylan, who plays Sunny Daze, is actually the video editor of the series, but he also has a passion for professional wrestling, and has made some serious growth both in the ring and as a human being over the last years. Subsequently, in an emotional segment on the series, Cody has offered a spot for him on the Over the Budget Battle Royal this May, and while he may have a similar name to All Elite Wrestling signing Sonny Kiss, his character is a polar opposite. As for the next set of signings, they'll be behind the voice of All Elite Wrestling. Number 20, Jim Ross. Without a doubt, Jim Ross has been talked about time and time again as being the best professional wrestling commentator of all time. But that didn't mean that the WWE wanted to hold on to him forever. Back in 2015, the company felt the need to release Ross from his contract, following an incident at a 2K press event, in which Ric Flair would drink a little bit too much and go completely off script. Subsequently, those higher up in WWE saw this as the fault of Jim Ross, because he didn't stop Flair. It was a ridiculous reason provided for chucking him out of the company, but it was their loss, not his, as Jim would perform around the independents as well as in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and now he's found himself a role as a lead commentator of All Elite Wrestling. Number 21, Alex Marvez. Working alongside Jim Ross will be Alex Marvez, an NFL insider. It will be interesting to see how Alex will make the move from other sports to professional wrestling, and if he can transfer his talents over. But so far, with Cody having practiced with him, things are looking great, and it's possible that he will soon be a part of the essential All Elite Wrestling team. Number 22, Excalibur. Having worked with the likes of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Progress Wrestling, and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Excalibur has been one of the best professional wrestling commentators on the independents for well over a decade. Thus, having his talents transported over to All Elite Wrestling will make for a great three-man commentary team. He killed it at All In, and it's safe to say they will do the same for All Elite Wrestling going forward. Number 23, Alicia Atout. After killing it as a backstage interviewer for the likes of Border City Wrestling, Rise Wrestling, and Impact Wrestling, alongside the huge success of her internet interviewing series, which she built from the ground up, it seems that Alicia has been an easy pick for the All Elite team. Things are looking great for Alicia's career, and the stint in AEW seems to be a great milestone for her career, as she'll be taking on the role as an official backstage interviewer for the company. And number 24, Justin Roberts. While Justin initially started out as an obsessed wrestling fan, which led to him becoming a referee, his career seemed to pick up as one of the top ring announcers in the WWE up until 2014, with a ring announcing career back into 2002. His talent has even seen him get a big payoff as a sole ring announcer for WrestleMania 27, but following his exit from the company, Roberts seemed to keep things quiet. That was up until last year's All In show, where he would take on the role once again and do a great job in doing so. Therefore, it comes as no surprise that Roberts was hired for the All Elite Wrestling team, and will continue to become a lead ring announcer in the near future. Who are your 3 favourite All Elite Wrestling signings so far? Let us know in the comments down below. But that's it for this one. Why not be the guy that helps out massively by dropping a big thumbs up? And remember, you can even join the already 11,000 members of the club by clicking that subscribe button down below. In the meantime though, here are some other videos that we've done, and we'll see you in the next one.